You just tell me. I mean, Phil laid it out pretty well. We know what the issues are. What's a shareholder to do?
Well, I mean, I have no enthusiasm after listening to Phil make that bear case. The fundamental story doesn't look that great. Tesla's at a pivotal juncture. I mean, everything that you're banking on down the road, the autonomous driving, that has to work. The utility of the energy sector, it has to work. The robots, they have to come to fruition and be here functioning and being a profitable business model. And to your point, Scott, none of those things are happening tomorrow, which is why I liked our conversation last week when we bought the shares at 236. It was purely technical. It was just looking at trying to trade a commodity and saying, okay, this thing is down a lot. We have the ability to write calls against it. We're hoping that it gets to 250 at some point next week. Maybe it gets there today. At that point, we'll initiate a covered call program on the position. So this is more of a trade for us than an investment. But boy, is it a polarizing stock to talk about.
And do you have concerns that what's gone on here is been damaged beyond repair?
I don't know that it matters from our perspective long term. I tend to think that the U.S. That we collectively as a society can be forgiving at times. I think what Elon Musk is trying to do in terms of uncovering some government waste is pretty good in theory and principle. And I can understand why both sides are so against maybe the method of how he's going about it.
But what do you mean it's not important? It's not important to you? I mean, you're buying the stock at a specific level, assuming that it's going to go up. One could make the guess that if these issues and the protests and whatever else friction around the brand persists, that it could be a weight on the very stock that you just bought last week thinking it was a good value.
Oh, yeah, it could go to 150. I mean, it's an insanely overpriced car company. No doubt about it, Scott. If this thing starts to roll in the other direction, we'll have a stop loss and get out of it. We're looking at it as a trade from the standpoint, like I said, technically looking at it as an option trader, playing into the volatility that's here in massive ways so that when we write calls against this, it'll be a really nice hedge against it. But this isn't something that you're going to want to sit on to perpetuity to prove that you're right. And if this thing rolls over and drops below 200, I'm not going to be sitting here defending the Tesla case. I won't own the stock.
I'm sorry. Are you making in part a bit of a market call by not only this move last week, but you bought more of the Qs, and that's what's new here. That must be some kind of call.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what Tom was saying earlier. We're looking at this in a very similar fashion as the Tesla trade. We bought some of the Qs in our growth strategy last week on the 13th during the pullback. We actually bought some more shares today, Scott. What we're looking at is we're saying we're not going to try to pick stocks here. Let's take a basket of these 100 names. We know people will pay up for innovation. You're down over 10% on the month. And in exactly the same fashion, if we can get a little bit of a recovery here next week, maybe this thing recovers by 3 or 4%. I know that's a tall ask. It doesn't have to be next week. But when it does, we'll write covered calls against this as well. These are not like the calls that we talk about all the time on things like Procter & Gamble and more boring value stocks. The option premiums that you can generate on the Qs are incredibly robust. Maybe not as high as Tesla, but still really, really good. So we're looking at this as a lens that's a little bit, how can we harvest volatility that we think is here to stay for a while? If we have a near-term bottom technically, and maybe we do, maybe we don't, can we get some positions in here that aren't going to roll over and fall off a cliff? And if we do get a little bit of a recovery, will it give us option premium so that we can deliver total return in a market that's scary? I mean, people are scared because of headlines. People are scared for a lot of reasons. We still want to be able to deliver returns, not sit on our hands and be active managers here.